because of
a
man,
all
because of
a
man,
I
was manipulated,
bamboozled, betrayed,
sexually assaulted,
fatherless.
My name is Natasha ABOAM. I'm 34 years old, born in Miami, Florida.
So tell me about the violence. You were going through the violence of your childhood?
Yeah, so I would see a lot of, of course, raising a little Haiti, you see a lot of violence, the gun violence and all type of violences against kids, and it was just hard growing up around Little Haiti. And then over time, my mom just said, you know what, she got tired of it and said we had to get out. We finally moved, and we moved to another city called North Miami. It was better, less violence, and it was, I'm sorry.
My name is Tasha Dunn, and I'm 36 years old. I can remember growing up in pretty much we were a middle class family. My mother was a nurse. My father was a mechanic. We did pretty well. We owned, I remember, 2 homes. I had a few cars. But with all of that, growing up was, as far as what I can remember, being young, it was really difficult. I think more not only for me, but for my mother. I was raised in a physically abusive, mentally, emotionally abusive home.
My name is Tiffany, and I am 34 years old. I had a good childhood. I was raised in a household where my mom and dad were married, so that's pretty much all I saw. My dad he was good on his girls. I have 2 younger sisters. So most of my childhood, I've been around older people who are married, like my parents. I was raised in the church, and the pastor was married, so I saw that, that unit of marriage, because that's pretty much all I saw. So.
My name is Natasha, and I'm 34. I grew up with my mom. She had my brother a few years later. We lived in Paterson, New Jersey.
You did say that when you were a child, you longed for a father. Can you explain what happened to your biological father, and if anybody did step in?
Well, what happened to my biological father wasn't around. He lived in the same town, but my mom and him and my mom weren't together, so he had another family and my mom had another family. So my stepdad, I did have a stepdad, and he was always amazing, especially like a provider. He was always an amazing provider. He made sure that we lived comfortable, but he wasn't, it's different when it's not your dad, in the picture. And my dad had his whole other family, and my sister that lived with my dad, she had sickle cell. So his focus was there, with that family. And I feel like not having him around, like knowing who I am, it just played it was hurtful, because you want your dad to be around. And at times he would do the things that, some dads that's not around do. They'd say, I'm coming to pick you up today. And as a kid, you're like a dad, you want that dad, so you're so excited. And when he doesn't show up, it's like such a disappointment. And it's so sad, because every time they tell you, or he says, I'm coming, you believe it every time. And you get let down each time, because it never happens. And then you call and they don't answer. It's just like a big disappointment. So not having him there, I feel like it played a big role in my adult life, because you feel like you want that, but then at the same token, as you go through things in life, you feel like you want that father figure, but then you want to be that person in a relationship that kind of runs and steer things the way you want them to go.
My name is Ingrid Lichmore, and I am 33 years old. I grew up in Jamaica. Jamaica is very beautiful, to most people. Most people don't know the other side of Jamaica. The side where there's dirt roads, a lot of bushes, poverty, a lot of homelessness. So I grew up in Jamaica. Life as a child to me was fun and interesting. I didn't know what lack of things were until I moved to the States. I had one pair of shoes for school, but it didn't bother me. I was happy as a child. It didn't bother me because that's what I was used to. That's what I knew. So, I used to see my other friends outside without shoes, so that's what we knew. We wore uniform to school, we had food to eat, and we had a happy childhood where we played outside a lot. But I think at the age of 8, my mom moved to the state to give us a better life. I think at that point, I became kind of lost somewhat, because I was, in 2 different households with my grandmother and then with my brother and my older sister. So in that phase, I really didn't have a mother for like 4 years. So fast forward, I moved to the United States at the age of 12. That's, if you know, that's middle school. So not only am I entering middle school, but I'm also entering a new country.